Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Oh my God, I said it right. Yes, that's right. Because usually there's the morning and then the afternoon, and then at night it's evening time. I said it right. Hello, this is Formcast. This is Form on Formcast. I don't know. Episode 135, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna quickly talk to you this week about my experience at Fan Expo Canada over the weekend slash last Friday. I was invited. I mentioned this last podcast episode. I was recently invited to go stream live through Quest to Conquer Cancer in terms of raising funds for Princess Margaret Cancer Foundation, which is a Canadian foundation here in Canada, of course. And I have never done a charity stream for cancer before. I've done multiple charity streams, raised nearly, I want to say, I'd have to go back and really check the total amounts I've raised on stream, but close to about $11,000, $12,000. And I was approached by the team recently to go and stream in Toronto once they figured out I was actually close to Toronto for charity. And it went absolutely wonderfully well. Now, Fan Expo, if you don't know what Fan Expo Canada is, it's held in Toronto every year. There are celebrities, there's artist alley, they call it. There's vendors galore, literally all over the place. There's cosplays all over the place. I was told it's kind of like San Diego Comic Con when you kind of compare them. Now, I don't know if San Diego Comic Con is bigger, but this was huge. First time ever attending the Fan Expo Canada, of course, as an exhibitor. So I had a bit of a backstage pass, especially getting there early before the doors were even open to the public. So that was really cool. But this place, it was held at the Metro Toronto Convention Center, the largest convention center, and it was just all over the place. There were people all over the place. This was Friday. Now Saturday, Sunday looked like it was even more busy, but the cosplay costumes were insane. Everything from Silent Hill people to Halo to Power Rangers to medieval times stuff to Doctor Who things to robotic R2D2s and things from Doctor Who. I forget what they're called, but it was absolutely insane. Artist Alley was full of people selling art and art things, art items, and then the vendors of T-shirts, of Funko Pops, of comics, of Pokemon cards, tons of it, arcade games, um, setups of virtual reality stuff that you can play and games you could actually try and play, and it was just really kind of shocking as to how much there was. I went there to stream, so I got there Friday in the morning. I was brought into this nice little room. This is my first experience doing a stream at a live event where it's not your setup and all that kind of stuff. So I was pretty nervous. I was very nervous. I was very stressed out as to how everything would work. However, the team at Load Screen GG, they are the team that hired us streamers to go and stream live at the event. Absolutely amazing. You got there, they brought you in, they showed you around, they showed you everything, they helped you with the setup if you needed to. And if you don't know what I mean is when you set up at home, your stream is your stream. And now, yes, you can put your files on OBS and you can put them on a USB floppy drive and all this stuff. I don't have any of that stuff. I don't have a floppy disk. I mean, no one does. But I don't have a USB drive or anything like that. So I just went in. I was going to set it up, straight up. And it took a little bit, but we did get it done on time in terms of getting, the donation link all linked to the stream and the alerts working and all that kind of stuff. So there were maybe a couple, technical blips here and there, but nothing that we couldn't handle. So I was streaming in this room with multiple other streamers in there and staff kind of walking around making sure things are good and things are okay and checking up on you. They fed us. It was great. Ended up raising over $2,200 for the foundation in 3 hours, 3.5 hours, and which was absolutely insane. People shared their stories of either surviving cancer or having family members with cancer, and also the other side of that in terms of people passing away due to cancer and just being really open and honest and transparent in sharing their stories, which made it even more impactful, in my opinion. So we raised that much. I was streaming. We played a little bit of Rivals, but mainly it was just chatting. I ended up doing a lot of squats. Bad idea. I ended up eating a lot of bean boozles. Bad idea. And what else did I? Oh, yeah, I wore a giant chicken suit. Yeah, and they took pictures. Yeah, and they posted them on their socials. Yeah, that was really fun. That was really great. So with that being said, it was an experience not to forget. Now, there was a lot of people. It took me probably 15, 20 minutes just to get from the bottom floor, which I would say was the main floor of the whole expo, just to get to the escalators, up the multiple escalators, out the door. It took about 15, 20 minutes just to get outside of the building. So there was that many people trying to kind of herd yourself into the one exit way to get out. So with that being said, the big groups I realize that are still maybe not necessarily for me. I don't mind, but it was very, very. I was by myself. Luckily, if you're trying to walk in a group and stuff, it was very, very packed. I had my giant backpack on me with all my gear, so that kind of made me a little bit apprehensive. But we got through it. We got through it. It was really, really, really awesome, though, and I'm hoping that we get invited to more opportunities like that because you see a lot of streamers. And being in Northern Ontario, Canada, I'm 4 hours away from Toronto, and there may be a lot of things for Toronto locals in terms of meeting up and then, oh, you're local, oh, you're only an hour away, only an hour away, blah, 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 on either sides of downtown Toronto. For me, it's a 4 hour drive. So to meet up for a meetup of any sorts, to go out for cocktails and dinners and to be invited to these things is very rare. So this is why it was very, very special to me. And I'm hoping that since we are kind of part of the team now, I'm hoping that there's more invites down the road for either charity events or streaming events or gaming events. There's some competitive gaming scene down there and whatnot. So you never know what could happen. But we're kind of like, got our toes in the water now. And I love that for us. And I love that for myself because it's very kind of, I don't know if disappointing is the word, but it just it's disheartening. It's kind of a blow when you see a lot of creators get invited to these things in the states, game cons and PAX events and DreamHack events and all this kind of stuff to either stream or for specific games. You know what I mean? Like they create content for a specific game and they get invited to these things and they get to stream live and meet people and network. And I think that was huge because I wish that could happen more for me, but this is maybe, like I said, that little entryway into that world because I got to meet streamers that are there to specifically stream and connect with people who stream, and it's very, very different than doing like a community meetup where people are there just to hang out and chill and meet each other, of course. But not everybody at community meetup is a streamer, right? Which is cool. So this is where it's different than that, and this is more of a, I would say, on a professional business level in terms of your stream and meeting people and potentially getting some opportunities out of it. You never know who you can meet and you never know who could watch your stream, stuff like that. So it was really, really, really fun. The Fan Expo is amazing. If you love anything comic related, celebrity movies, I mean, I didn't get to see any celebrities. I didn't stick around too long after my stream. I had to get going. It took me an hour and a half just to get out of Toronto and back on the 400 up north. So I'm glad I did left when I did because I didn't get home till late. So with that being said, I stuck around for a little bit. I went to walk around and there was tons of stuff, so many things that you can look at and buy. And I was told, by the way, you should go on the last day of the con because sometimes the merch is a little bit cheaper because they want to get rid of it. But insider scoop, anyways. So with that being said, I would definitely go back. I would definitely go back, and I would love to go back to meet some celebrities. There was Michael J. Fox there. Michael Tyson was there on Saturday. The dog from Deadpool, Ewan McGregor, who plays Obi-Wan Kenobi. There was just so many cool people, and I wish I could have met, but I did hear that despite if you're an exhibitor or a fan or whatever, everyone does the same thing. You got to pay extra. You got to stand in lines for a long time. So I was just very time limited, and next time I'm hoping to maybe schedule it a little bit better now that I know what I'm expecting to go and actually meet some folks. So, all in all, it was a very, very cool experience. It was a very successful stream. Like I said, we raised over $2,200 for the foundation in 3.5 hours for the first time ever being there and part of that team. I think that was really, really cool. And met a lot of good people. Honestly, met a lot of good people, and hanging out in each other's streams now, and just kind of chit chatting in discords and stuff. And you never know when you might meet someone that can like become a really good friend in the whole grand scheme of it all, right? So, with that being said, thanks for listening. I really appreciate it. I hope you're having a great week. It's Wednesday when you hear this, or maybe later in the week if you listen to it another day. But I hope the week has been great. And if it hasn't, guess what? It might just get better. As always, thanks for listening. Catch you next time. Cheers.